Alright, welcome everybody. We're just going to wait for Monique. She's grabbing her notes from her car to kick us off. I hope everybody got an agenda to follow along with today. This may be changeable, this may be flexible. The idea here is to get a lot of different viewpoints together in the same room. So we have engineers here, we have advocates here, we have professionals, we have just folks who are doing this for fun, we have public health, we have a lot of different angles and Venn diagrams that we are overlapping today. I'll give a quick introduction in one sec once everybody gets seated, but I encourage you all to mix and mingle throughout the day. So we have 3 different segments. Hopefully they're all, we'll produce at the end of each segment kind of a little workshopping round table where we can work as a group or in small groups around to kind of cover different topics. I'll introduce David Watson in 1 second to, you want to just jump up actually? And give a quick intro of why we're here, how we're here, and what Watson Active and Mass in Motion is doing for everybody in the room.
Okay.
Go.
Thanks, Caitlin. I'm David Watson from Watson Active. I'm an active transportation consultant. I know many of you, and it's nice to see all of you again, and nice to meet those of you I haven't seen before. My role here is I am a technical assistance provider for the Department of Public Health's Mass in Motion program, which is sponsoring this series of bike summits with MassBike. And in my role as a technical assistance provider, I've been able to help Galen as he was framing what these were going to be and figuring out what these summits were going to be for the next few days. So I just want to, on behalf of the Department of Public Health, welcome everybody here. And for those of you who are from Mass in Motion communities, of which there are about 70 across the state, I wanted to remind you that technical assistance is available, and if the discussions today spark any ideas for things you might want help with in your community, and I hope that happens, that you can talk to me or any of the other technical assistance providers about any assistance you might need. But that's about it. Thanks very much, and have a great day.
Thanks, David. And for those of you who are interested, David's cards are at the front, along with my cards too. So if you have any follow-up or technical assistance needs, think of us as your resource. For those of you who are with the Department of Public Health, if you're part of the Mass in Motion Coordinators Program, can you just quickly raise your hand? Excellent. So we got 3 folks here. Do you want to, is it okay if I put you on the spot just to introduce yourselves and what community you're from? Cool.
Sure. I'm Patricia Stoney. I'm in the city of Pittsburgh. I'm with Gary Knockins. I'm in the city of Worcester. I'm with Cambridge in Motion from the Cambridge Public Health Department.
Yes, thank you, Don. Great. Cool. So this is a collaboration of public health and bike advocacy, and we surveyed the Mass in Motion coordinators, of which there are 35, maybe 40, about what needs they have in terms of biking for their public health lens in their communities. The 3 big topics that we got were the engineering side and the advocacy side of Complete Streets. Now the Complete Streets program, we'll go into that a little bit later, but the coordinators were interested in figuring out best ways of plugging into the Complete Streets program. Then another topic was the network and the prioritization as development takes place in our communities, in our cities, in our rural areas. The connections to open space, the opportunities for active transportation as they are met through networks, through development, so we're going to cover that. And then another big request from the coordinators was to talk about education, safe routes to schools, and some of the public awareness programs that are going about, which we have Safe Routes to Schools here and MassBike here as a presenter as well. So hopefully these 3 buckets fit into your framework of how your advocacy, your work, your profession, your lifeblood, and your passion fit in. And so think of those 3 buckets. Now the lenses that we're going to look at, and of course this just died on me. The lenses that we're going to start with, at least for the past half hour, were the 5 E's of bike advocacy. This is from the League of American Bicyclists. We have engineering, education, encouragement, enforcement, and evaluation. Now, I'll come and collect these and we'll revisit them during the lunch break. But one of the big E's that we're missing is the equity E. So what I want you to do is think about equity during the presentations today, during the work that we're going to be talking about. And we put those 4 questions up on the wall, the racial justice reframing questions, which will hopefully kind of drive the conversation a little bit more towards equity. Arguably, this profession, this advocacy is tending towards white, but we need to really be focusing on all people, and especially people who are underrepresented and underserved. MassMotion calls it the priority populations. Transportation officials call it environmental justice neighborhoods. Whatever the framework is, just kind of keep that in mind in the back pocket as we go forward, as we do our workshop breakouts. Just to leave it at that, I thank you all for coming. I thank David and the Department of Public Health for helping MassBike put this on. And I hope you can stay the whole day. We do have lunch coming around 12:30. We've got some sandwiches. And I do know if there's gluten allergies, let me know, because we do have some options that will account for you too. We'll have vegetarian meat options too, just a little bit of forecasting. And if there's any more muffins and coffee back there, feel free to come up at any point in time. Devin, I might ask you just to talk a little bit about the facilities before we jump right in.
Thank you for the commercial too.
Please. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Devin Kurtz. I'm the Executive Director of the Blackstone River Valley National Heritage Corridor. Welcome to our brand new visitor center. We just opened this on October 27th. Just so you know, the restrooms are in front of the building. Also, there's a water fountain there with a water bottle refill at the station. The Blackstone River Valley National Heritage Corridor was created by Congress in 1986. There are currently 55 national heritage areas across the country. We were the second one. Congressman McGovern has been a long advocate for the construction of this visitor center, and it was built using federal highway money from the 146 project. This is a partnership that was done through our organization, the National Park Service, the Department of Conservation and Recreation, Mass DOT, the City of Worcester, the College of Holy Cross. There were a lot of players to get this building constructed. It was a project that was well over a decade, and for me it was 5 years of my life, so it's great seeing all of you here. One of the big things that the Heritage Corridor is doing over the next 2 years is really strongly advocating for the Blackstone River Bikeway. That was proposed over 20 years ago to stretch from Worcester, Massachusetts to Providence, Rhode Island. Rhode Island is about 2/3 of the way complete. We're currently working with the city of Pawtucket and trying to figure out how to connect to Providence. And in Massachusetts, we have about 17 miles to finish between Millbury and Uxbridge. So we're working with all of those town and city planners to find ways to complete that. And then, of course, we're working with the city of Worcester to connect our visitor center from here all the way up to Union Station, which was supposed to start construction this year, but has now been delayed with the new stadium that's being built in the Canal District. So we're waiting to see how that will work. Here at the visitor center, our bike path goes about 3.5 miles to the town of Millbury. The other big thing that the Heritage Corridor is doing is a strong process of advocating in local communities. Last year, we installed over 5 repair stations along the bikeway and in town, and over 50 bike racks through all the local communities. And we're trying to get those off of the bikeways and into the communities themselves. Of course, if you're riding on a bike path, you don't want to walk to the ice cream parlor and leave your bike back there. You want to lock your bike up right at the ice cream parlor. So we're working really hard on that. We also, with working through the National Park Service, have a strong core of volunteers called the Blackstone River Bikeway Ambassadors. And so you'll see our volunteers up and down along the bikeway, leading tours, helping repair tires, and just giving out information about bicycling. And just so you know, welcome to the city of Worcester. For a period of about 10 years, Worcester was the center of bicycling in the United States. From the 1880s through the early 1900s, there were over 20 manufacturers of bicycles and bicycle components. Everything from spokes to tires to complete bicycles. That's how Major Taylor ended up here in Worcester, working for the Munger tire manufacturer. Ira Johnson was also produced here for a time period. And, just so you know, the Worcester Daily Spy, Friday, September 27, 1895, for a cycle path in the city. A meeting of all the wheelmen is called for next Thursday. There's been for some months more or less talk among the wheelmen regarding the building of cycle paths within the city limits. The movement has now taken definite form and will be seen by the following circular letter, which has been sent amongst all the wheelmen of the city. So way back in 1895, we were advocating for cycle paths in the city of Worcester. So it's been a long run, and we're getting there. So welcome to Worcester and the Blackstone River Valley Visitor Center.
Thank you, Devin. Great. It's a beautiful facility, and it's right along the bike path. So depending on the weather, there's an optional bike ride that we're going to head down the bike path. We'll see how it goes, but hopefully the weather holds out. But it's just a lovely area around here.
And if you forgot your bicycle, we have a couple that can be brought.
Oh, really? Oh,
When we built the facility, we bought 2 bicycles for the staff that were here.
cool. That's fantastic.